introduction as usual. Before I moved to the UK 6 years ago, I didn't know anything about the Maple Leaf Trust. Didn't give much thought to what the individuals it supports. Even though my own father was a World War II veteran, the Second World War was only something I experienced through movies and books. But now, becoming involved with the Trust, I realize the individuals it supports are very much a part of our lives still, and they deserve our recognition and constant remembrance. I know now that even a small contribution of support to them makes a big difference in their lives, and I hope I can convey to you tonight the importance of that contribution and your support. And as we've written in our blurb, the Maple Leaf Trust can trace its origins to just after the Second World War, when the Canadian Women's Club established something called the Welfare Committee. It was to support veterans who had stayed here in the UK for any number of reasons. Some of them were incapacitated from the war. Others had married and had families here, and others just wanted to stay to pursue a life here in the UK. Originally, the committee supplied blankets, food hampers, they helped writing letters home for our veterans, and they even supplied cigarettes, if you can believe it. It was a steady supply of cigarettes for our veterans. Well, times have changed. Now the Veterans Support Committee helps with cold weather heating bills, replacing heating boilers, stair glides, wheelchairs, mobility scooters, and much more. For example, the Veterans Support Committee this year, we were able to help a widow who had lost sight in her right eye from cancer, and now her left eye, she was losing sight in that eye, and she could have treatment on to help her retain sight in the eye, but it was through the NHS. It was going to be a 2-year waiting time, so she ended up going for private care, but she had to use £1,540 of her own funds, which was through her overdraft for the first time in her life. So we were able to help her with that treatment so she could get her private treatment in good time. And then, where's, there you are. You mentioned, no, it was you. It was you. Sorry. We heard earlier that 25% of the elderly live alone, and we find that with our veterans. And we like to keep in contact with them through our letters and through quarterly stipends. We send them greetings for Christmas, Boxing, Canada Day, birthdays, Easter, Thanksgiving, and Remembrance Day. We send them little cards and notes and sometimes even gifts. And for the Veterans Support Committee, because we do make these contacts all year, we feel that we celebrate Remembrance Day all year with our veterans. Jenny Tripp Black is the chair of the Veterans Support Committee, and she and I read through many thank yous from our veterans. And it's a touching experience to hear how the donations are received with such heartfelt thanks. We've got some letters out in the hallway, and if you read them, they do bring a tear to your eye. They choke you up, and we really know they appreciate your donations. There are hundreds of letters, and I'm only going to read a few that I've cut and spliced to keep it brief, and I hope I haven't lost the heart and soul of these letters. We have a letter from Scotland. It says, sorry to be so long in answering your lovely card and gift. What a lovely surprise. Best wishes to all involved in the Maple Leaf Trust. I'm sure there are many who have been given a lift and are grateful for it. And again from Scotland, many thanks for the lovely and very welcome gift for our heating bills. I do appreciate the kindness of the Maple Leaf Trust. Nice to know there are people working behind the scenes to bring cheer and help to others. And this is my favorite. This is from Torquay. She wrote, many thanks. I bought myself a lovely warm winter coat. Thank you again. Last year she bought herself a new pair of slippers. So we're getting letters from them every year. Again, these are just a sample of some of the letters we received from our appreciative Canadian veterans, and we feel grateful that we can recognize them for their services so long ago. The Maple Leaf Trust supports a second important charity, the Canadian Centennial Scholarship Fund, which was established in 1967 because of a particularly great fundraiser that year called the Maple Leaf Centennial Ball. And Dasha Shankman is here, and her mother was the chair of that ball and president of the Canadian Women's Club that year, and they raised a spectacular amount of money, and we were able to establish the scholarship fund. So every year since 1967, hundreds of Canadian students have been coming to pursue highly specialized fields of studies, that they can't get in Canadian universities. But they just want to work with leading scholars at world-class institutions here, or simply because they want to come to the UK to expand their horizons. So since '67, we've had over 400 scholarships awarded. This year they had 90 applicants. They awarded 16 scholarships. Some of the studies are sociology, anthropology, paleopathology, which is the study of ancient diseases. I had to look that up. And cybernetics is another one, which means interdisciplinary study of the structure of regulatory systems. These scholars are taking important research at leading research institutions like Oxford, Cambridge, Sheffield, Durham. The students feel that the funds they receive from the Canadian Scholarship Fund help to reduce some of the financial pressures of studying here in the UK, especially in London. And we have a few quotes from a scholar. Returning to studies as a mature student filled me with apprehension, but as my medical course unfolds, I'm convinced that this is no longer an unattainable goal. My ambition is made stronger with the belief that you have in me. And our final quote, it's a great honor to receive this award. I feel that the funds have been raised through the hard work and generosity of many Canadians. It's a privilege to be able to benefit from them. So, in conclusion, I have to wrap this up very quickly. I'd like to just say that next time you see a mobility scooter with a senior on it, or you read about a Canadian who's done a PhD in Cambridge, maybe you can think that perhaps your donation tonight has gone towards that senior or that young student. So thank you again for coming tonight, and please don't just sit there and watch others bid. Please get involved and bid yourself tonight for the Make Believe Trust. It really is a great charity. Thank you.